Welcome to Channel NZYQ, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested to migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now you have clicked into this video obviously with the topic that the Minister of Immigration is in trouble. Now it has been brewing and growing and burning for the past few months throughout Christmas until the New Year, and now he's in trouble. Whether or not, now obviously the opposition leader Peter Dutton is asking the Minister of Immigration Andrew Giles to resign. Now I don't think he will likely to resign straight away, but let's have a look what's happening. Obviously, if you've been following my channel, well, hopefully you will do it, or if you're not with a subscriber yet, I have notified and advised there has been a lot of problem policies issue. Now my previous video talked about the rejection rate has been spiked up for student visa and all the policy changes, housing crisis, inflation. It's all pushing towards the immigration minister's power and its hand. Now it's not a domestic, or I mean, it's not just a problem for Australia. It's actually a worldwide phenomenon. It's a so-called the indirect effect of the post-pandemic era. It had the same issue happening centuries ago, where there was a pandemic spread out from Europe, and then obviously what happened was the World War broke out. Now hopefully there's no war, but we can see there has been some intensify on the economic issue, technological issues. Well, the war did broke out in East Europe and also in Middle East. Hopefully not anywhere else. But anyway, let's have a look how the Minister of Immigration Andrew Giles actually got in trouble. Now you may have already seen some of these news. It's due to the High Court decision and ruling, as you may read on this news article. It says hundreds of more immigration detainees could be released in sequel to the NZYQ High Court ruling. Now, what is that NZ or NZYQ? It's a sequence of reference towards somebody. Okay, not naming them just for privacy issue. So you may go into the criminal code or criminal cases. You will see a lot of these acronyms being used for different matter, different cases. It's how they do it anyway. So don't worry about what NZYQ stands for, but it's basically what happened is that there has been a lot of detainees who are non-citizen. Now what is non-citizen? Non-citizen means they are migrants, or they are not Australian, in other words, and they have done something wrong against the law, which have got to be criminal offense, whatever the offense that is. It has some disputes, so their visa has, for example, whatever that is, has actually go against the visa conditions. For example, they were student visa holder and they came to Australia and found out they were involved in some sort of criminal activities which is against the visa conditions, so their visa has been cancelled, and obviously a lot of these people is not happy about it. They will appeal, and they will get some sort of bridging visa. It's usually under bridging visa E or F or D, which is all the worst type of bridging visa by means, and these people they won't have the freedom to actually go around. So the judgment has not been made by the rulings because they appeal against the decisions. So then they will be put into a detention center. Now it's not defined as prison or jailed, but it's something similar like that. So what's happening is some of these cases are extremely complicated. Okay, for example, a lot of complex criminal cases, and it also involve into these people. I don't want to call them criminal because some of them is still on appeal, but they did have a lot of criminal offenses have been discovered, and their passport expired. Now, how would Australia do with an expired ID who is under a criminal proceedings? Now that's the problem here. So what happened with the just give you a little brief. What happened with the High Court ruling here is that obviously in a nutshell is High Court of Australia saying that it's against the human right. You cannot even if it put it in the context of an Australian citizen. All right. So if you're an Australian citizen and you have committed a criminal offense, so you are going with the criminal proceedings, right? Now, usually, depends on the how complex the issue is. You can apply bail, and you can be out of the. You can still be out, but be monitored by the police forces and things like that. So you still have some sort of freedom, but because these are non-citizens, now if they apply bail and under such a bridging visa, supposedly this bridging visa it has a goal to actually deport these non-citizens. Now, because there's still a criminal proceeding, so they cannot deport them. So then they put them into a detention center, and because of the proceeding taking so long, now there are hundreds and hundreds of these people actually in a detention center. And that's the problem there. So the High Court of Australia basically saying, look, you cannot do that. These are still people. Well, despite they're not Australian citizens, you should let them out of the detention center. But it doesn't say what to do after you let them out. So where do they put them? So the immigration is saying, so where do we put them? So that's where the debate comes, and that's where the problem has come. So what happened was the ruling had made, and hundreds of these detainees has actually been released. So long-term detainees, they has been released, and obviously, if they got lawyers, all of them will, they are refugees or asylum seekers, despite they probably had done something wrong. Now, it doesn't mean a criminal cannot claim that they are refugee or asylum seekers. They can. They probably have committed some sort of criminal conduct. Now that broke the visa condition, but they can still, apply for protection visa, because if they have been sent back. So there's actually a case study here, where there's a Iranian detainees who has some sort of faith. He's a bisexual Christian, and here we go. And then if he got deported back to Iran, there will be a threat of his basically safety of his life. So that's what is happening. And I'm not going to go into detail of all the different cases, but basically if you read through these informations, they are talking about the crisis is going on. So what's happening here, what I can say here is that the why are these proceedings taking so long? They should have some sort of mechanism to allow prioritizations, making those criminal proceedings quicker, so then the court can make decision, or the government can make quicker, effective decision whether to deport or not. And at that point of time, whether or not this non-citizen could actually apply for protection or whatever that is, then they could proceed otherwise, rather than having hundreds and hundreds of these detainees in detention center and causing all these issues. Now, obviously, the matter went a little bit viral domestically in Australia, and the general population basically saying, well, why are you releasing all these criminals into the communities? Then the opposition, the Minister of Home Affairs, Claire O'Neill, basically stood up. Here we go again. I don't know whether you like her or not. I'm not going to click into that video there, but she basically saying, oh, these criminal these detainees in the detention center has been there for years. It's not a cause from the current government. Well, which is correct. If they have been there for more than 2 years, means all these detainees have been caught from the previous and the former government, where the current opposition leader Peter Dutton was the Minister of Home Affairs back then. So why did they do that? Why did they allow something happening and allowing it to went through for so long until today? The issue broke up from the High Court ruling. But anyway, it's a very interesting case study here. I don't know how you feel about it. I mean, do you think a non-citizen committing a crime in a different countries, should they be deported straight away, or should they serve how the justice should let them serve? Because now a criminal, if they conduct a criminal activities in particular country, if they get deported straight away back to whichever the country that is, now because they did not commit the criminal conduct in that countries, so they probably don't even need to serve what they have done unjust and unjustified towards what they have actually conducted in the past actions towards other human or other group of people, right? So for a justice systems to be straightforward, it should really allow not letting these criminal conducts proceeding go through and get them to serve what they should justify for what they have done, right? I think a lot of people may agree. Well, you may agree. You can leave a comment right down below. Now, and then the problem comes. If these non-citizens had committed a crime in a country other than their original country of passports, should they be detained indefinite? Just like, I mean, indefinite means we don't know when the proceeding will end. And should the country allow such fundings towards this? And what about the human right issue? Now, because they are non-citizens, they don't have the same right as the Australians. I mean, the citizen of that country could have. They can apply bail, and they can be out of whatever the prison or whatever it is. They're still being monitored with some behavioral action required to be reported. But because they are non-citizens, they lost all that right, because there is a middleman, that is the immigration, is watching on their visa, and because they don't have visa, then they issue them bridging visa, and the bridging visa's initiative is to deport them, but they cannot deport them because they are still in a criminal proceeding. See how complex that is. Whichever the way that you believe is right or wrong, I don't know. I have no idea on this one, but it's a very interesting topic, and it actually troubled the Minister of Immigration today. Anyway, leave your comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.